the late model stock car race tonight, dedicated to the memory of Pat and Warren. Gentlemen, start your engines. And now, ladies and gentlemen, with the starting lineup, here's Mike Allen.
Budweiser night at the races here at Langley Speedway, and by the way, near the rear of the field, the 33 Lee Reinhardt and also Doug Warren driving the other 40 car, another CE Falk automobile. Budweiser night at the races at Langley Speedway. The first Twin 50 is underway. CE Falk will lead the field down as we are underway. Danny Edwards once again having a birthday tomorrow. And the 33 spins in between turns 1 and 2. And another crash in between 3 and 4. One car all over the top of another as the 80 of Wesley Falk climbed on top of one of the other cars, ripped the sheet metal off the side. Man, oh man, a big wreck here between 3 and 4 after they were trying to get slowed down. In the 33, Lee Reinhardt, he crashed in between turns 1 and 2, or at least spun out. The 2 car of Matt Waltz qualified very well for tonight's race, and he has got a torn up race car between 3 and 4 up against the wall. 05 Doug Gotze, the 80 Wesley Falk also involved in this. Well, our big wreck on lap 1. Don't even get one lap completed here for this first 50. The red car sitting over there, can't make out what the number is, but he also had that number 80 car all over the top of him, Wesley Falk. The 1 is in the pits. Kyle Waltz and Matt Waltz both involved in this big wreck in between turns 3 and 4.
Down there?
I don't know, man. Looked like the 2, the Gotze got in the back of the 2 there, and you know, they're just driving over the head right off the start. This is 1 lap. And here, look at all this stuff tore up on the car, the 80 car. I guess he couldn't get stopped, man. He drove in the window with me, you know what I mean? And it's just very, very misfortunate for us, man. We ain't got a whole lot, and we definitely didn't need this, that's for sure. Just guys driving over the head, like I said. They ain't, you know, just the first lap, not the last lap. And that won't good.
Do you think you'll be able to get it fixed for the second race? Or?
I don't think so. If they'll let me drive it, I'll wheel it. I'm going to tell you, the windshield's busted out of it, so I don't know if they're going to let me run it or not. If they'll let me run it, I'll get back in there. We'll pull the whole body off of it and run it with a cage for the fans, you know. She'll still go fast. See what I'm talking about? They love it. They know it. And we're willing to put it back out there. If they'll let us do it, we getting back out there.
All right, well, let me let you get working on it. Let me go down here and see if I can get a word with the 05. No, the crew's working on it. Looking at all the suspension and everything. See if Doug, there's Doug, around there. Doug, misfortune, what happened?
That 2's an idiot. He just fucking came down on me.
As I said, there's a full moon somewhere, Mike.
Yeah. Well, temperatures are heating up. They got the torn up race cars. It's understandable how they, the adrenaline starts pumping and everybody gets a little heated. But Well, we'll see if we can get through at least one lap when they go back to green. There's the 2 car being pulled away. And 1 lap to go till the green flag will fly again. We'll see if we can get through 1 lap. CE Falk, Matt Waltz is up there, but of course he's out of this with a damaged race car, the 2. Danny Edwards looking for a good run tonight, the 26. Celebrating a birthday tomorrow, looking for a celebration of a win tonight. Got the 34, Paul DeBolt, he's up there. Pace truck comes down into the pits, and we are set to go. 50 laps of competition for the Crossroads Fuel late model stock cars at Langley Speedway. The green flag back out. We're underway. CE Falk and Jeff Shiflett will lead the field down between turns 1 and 2. Danny Edwards sticks the nose of his car underneath the Jeff Shiflett ride, and he will try and take over second, and does, between 3 and 4. Here comes Greg Edwards down on the inside to follow brother Danny through, trying to take over the 3rd position. Casey Wyatt down on the inside of Paul DeBolt. He's back there in 5th. He gets to the inside of Jeff Shiflett. Meanwhile, a slip by one of the automobiles to the outside. Terry Carroll in the 90 car, and a spin by the 33 again. He sits over between turns 3 and 4. Lee Reinhardt, second spin of the night for the 33 car, brings out a caution flag here on lap 2. Second time he has spun. Doug Gotze, he's going to come back in and continue to make repairs on the 05. Involved in that big wreck we had between 3 and 4 when he got into Matt Waltz. The cone is in effect as they get set to take the green flag again. Those choosing to go to the outside include Paul DeBolt in 34, the K95 Shane Lockhart ride, the 1 of Kyle Waltz, and the 80 of Wesley Falk. And here comes the pace truck. 1 lap, full lap completed. We get back underway for another try at the final 49 laps for a 50-lap race. It's been exciting so far, and up again, it is the 40, CE Falk in the lead. Great battle for the second ride as we have 34, Paul DeBolt taking that position over. Now a battle for the 3rd spot. Danny Edwards down on the inside. The K95 car on the outside, Shane Lockhart. Right behind these guys, the 01, Jeff Shiflett. 21, Greg Edwards. The 29, Casey Wyatt. To the outside of Casey, the 1 of Kyle Waltz. Good side-by-side race there with the 01, Jeff Shiflett, and the K95 car for 4th position. Meanwhile, the leader of this race, CE Falk, about 4 car lengths ahead of Paul DeBolt. About 3 back to Danny Edwards in 3rd. 2 back to the 01 of Jeff Shiflett, being pressured by the 21 of Greg Edwards. Greg's got the K95 car, Shane Lockhart on his outside, and the 29 of Casey Wyatt behind him. Casey now to the inside of Shane Lockhart. Between turns 1 and 2, here goes Greg again trying to make the pass on the 01 of Jeff Shiflett. Meanwhile, it's side by side with Casey Wyatt and Shane Lockhart. Casey moves up into the 6th position, Shane back to 7. 05, Doug Gotze, he's on the racetrack again. 7 laps completed this time as CE Falk continues to lead, and here goes Greg making a move for the 4th position. He gets by the 01 of Jeff Shiflett. Greg Edwards now in 4th. Another spin by the 33 car of Lee Reinhardt to bring out another caution flag. Casey White is in the pits. They're checking on the left side. They jacked it up for a minute. trying to get something fixed on Casey's car. He was just outside the top 5. Lee Reinhardt, the reason for the caution flag, he's about to come back out. And Doug Gotze continues to work on the automobile. The crew has got the hood off, and they're checking on that. Trying to get Casey back underway here in the 29. They're trying to get it push started. As we get set to go back to green flag racing. And Casey trying to get it refired. As we are about to take the green flag, and it's back out. We're back underway as CE Falk leads Danny Edwards. Paul DeVault in 34. Danny on the outside now tries to challenge for that second spot. Paul DeVault on the inside. Casey's car stalled after he went into the pits to make adjustments. They're trying to get him back out. Meanwhile, the 34 Paul DeVault on the racetrack takes over the second spot. Now the Edwards brothers battle side by side for the third position. Greg's going to take it away this lap in the Browers mechanical machine. He pulls up ahead of brother Danny. Meanwhile, right behind these guys, the 01 of Jeff Shiflett and the K95 car of Shane Lockhart battle it out. Greg Edwards now trying to take over the second spot from Paul DeVault in the 34. Two 50-lap races scheduled for the late models tonight. Meanwhile, Casey Wyatt, problems on the 29. They're trying to get that car fixed so at least he can be ready for the second race. Problems on this first one. Doug make that CE Falk up front. We have Doug Warren driving the backup car for the 40 car. Paul DeVault having a good run tonight in the second spot. Greg Edwards right there in third. Danny Edwards fourth. Jeff Shiflett up there in the 01 in fifth, followed by the 80. And that is, of course, Wesley Falk. Wesley having some problems, of course, earlier in tonight's race. Still has a fast race car. Good battle here between the 26 of Danny Edwards Jr. and the 01 of Jeff Shiflett. And the 80 machine. Talked about Wesley. Apparently his transponder got knocked off his automobile. So we can't see where he is exactly on the scoring, but we can see where he is on the racetrack. 16 laps completed out of a 50-lap event. And it's CE Falk, champion for the last 2 years, showing the way out front. The Hampton Roads Toyota dealers, number 40 from Virginia Beach. Avalon Fishing Pier, Von Zipper Sunglasses, Racing Electronics on his ride. Kyle Waltz has done a good job to get back into the race after he was involved in that first lap caution flag and wreck we had. He's up to 8th position. Good battle here between the 55 of Mark Wirtz and the K95 car, Shane Lockhart. Greg Edwards leads the points. CE Falk second, Danny Edwards Jr. fourth, or actually third, ahead of Paul DeVault, who's fourth. Then Matt Waltz, Dean Shiflett, Mark Wirtz, Wesley Falk, Kyle Waltz, and Jeff Shiflett. Danny Edwards with 1 victory, Greg Edwards with 2 this year. And Greg leads the points. Greg is right there in third spot. Close behind these two, the 40 and the 34, CE Falk and Paul DeVault. Paul DeVault, teammate to the 14 of Rena Marchetti. He's driving the Sears Sand and Gravel Extra Storage and Bill's Welding Ford from Gloucester, Virginia, right there in second. And looking like he's going to try and catch the 40 of CE Falk. And they're trying to get Casey back out there, trying to get him going again with a push start. Caution flag is out for a spin. The K95 car, Shane Lockhart, spins in turn 3 to bring out the caution flag. CE Falk right there in the number 40 car continues to lead. Our 2009-2010 track champion. Hampton Roads Toyota Dealers number 40, CE Falk in the lead as we get back to the green flag. Avalon Fishing Pier, a big sponsor on that automobile, along with Von Zipper Sunglasses, Race and Electronics. Sears Sand and Gravel 34, Paul DeBolt. And who chose to go to the outside as we get back to the action? It is the green flag. The 80 of Wesley Falk trying to move up. He went to the outside. So did Danny Edwards Jr., seeing if he can advance his position. Mark Wirtz also, the 55 car, trying to advance a little bit. He falls back in line behind the 0-1 of Jeff Shiflett. Side-by-side battle between 34 and 80. Paul DeBolt on the inside. Wesley Falk on the outside. And here's Greg. He tries to stick his nose underneath the 34, Paul DeBolt. But he slipped a little bit at the exit of turn 2. Still side-by-side for that second spot. DeBolt slips a little bit. He was down on the inside. And the 80 of Wesley Falk, he gets a nudge by DeBolt as they continue to battle it out for that second spot. This has allowed the 40 to pull away by about 10 car lengths over these guys racing side by side for the second spot. Greg's being held up quite a bit, and the 21, they're bumping and banging a little bit, sliding into each other. 34. And the caution flag is out. That's something that's broke on the 29 of Casey Wyatt. And they put the caution out really quick for that. Casey with a problem on the 29 and went up in smoke. They're going to check the track or anything that might be on it. One lap to go till the green flag. Let's see who chooses, if anyone, to go to the outside. Greg Edwards. He's going to try it on the outside of CE Falk for the lead. Danny Edwards follows Greg. And then you've got Mark Wirtz, the 55 Dunkin' Donuts Planet Fitness ride to the outside of the 80 of Wesley Falk when they go back to the green flag. Down on the inside of Greg is the 40 of CE Falk. These guys 1 and 2 in the championship battle. And they'll be side by side when the green flag flies and we get back underway with 25 laps to go to get to the end of this one. CE Falk and Greg Edwards, then Paul DeBolt and Danny Edwards. Green flag flies. Greg doesn't get the start he wanted to. Now he has to fight with the 34 of Paul DeBolt for the second position. Meanwhile, CE Falk tries to take off. About 2 to 3 car lengths now ahead of Paul DeBolt. Greg got caught up on the outside of DeBolt. Didn't like that too much. He gets into Paul DeBolt, who spins around down at the bottom of turn number 2. Greg got a tap from the 34 of DeBolt and tried to repay the favor a little bit. 33 is torn up a little bit over there. So is the 14 of Reno Marchetti. He's got sheet metal hanging off his race car, and also on the back end of the 33 of Lee Reinhardt. And the 1 of Kyle Waltz involved in this, as was DeBolt in the 34, after he and Greg got together. 26 laps completed. CE Falk will be the leader when they get the green flag again. Well, Greg's going to go to the rear of the field, and you're going to see a very determined number 21 car move his way back up through the field when that green flag flies. Okay, so Greg Edwards, Paul DeBolt, and the 33 Lee Reinhardt not eligible to use the cone. Wesley Falk's going to try it on the outside. Right next to CE Falk, a little family affair up front. Kyle Waltz in the 1. He's going to try the outside. So is Shane Lockhart, the K95 car. Going to be to the outside of the 55, Mark Wirtz. And the 0-1, Jeff Shiflett down on the inside, followed by Terry Carroll, Chris Hopkins, the 99, the 21, Greg Edwards, Paul DeBolt, Lee Reinhardt, and at the rear of the field, Reno Marchetti, running for the Rookie of the Year, will join the field. And the green flag is back out. Let's see if we can get to the end of this one. It is lap 26 of a 50-lap race. C.E. Falk continues to lead. He pulls ahead of the 26 of Danny Edwards, who fights down on the inside with the 80 of Wesley Falk on the outside. Greg Edwards moving his way back up through the field already. He's down to the inside of Chris Hopkins in the 99. Meanwhile, back up front, it's getting tight up here as the 80 of Wesley Falk has the 1 of Kyle Waltz underneath him a little bit. Back in the 5th position, the 55 of Mark Wirtz. Greg Edwards moving up. He's already passed 2 or 3 cars. He gets by the 90 of Terry Carroll. Also, Paul DeBolt trying to work his way back up in car 34. Reno Marchetti not up to speed, and the 14 still has a lot of damage on his ride. Meanwhile, it's a great lead for the 40 of C.E. Falk, about 4 car lengths now, and of Danny Edwards Jr. Cars making their way now between 3 and 4 with the 14 slowing up and going into the pits. Reno Marchetti. He gets back into the pits. Paul DeBolt now works on the back end of the 99 of Chris Hopkins. Meanwhile, the 21 of Greg Edwards trying to get back up into the top 5 or top 6. Gets to the inside of Mark Wirtz and makes the pass on Mark. Meanwhile, Paul DeBolt gets by the 99 and makes the pass on Chris Hopkins. "32 laps completed. The C.E. Falk showing the way over Danny Edwards, Wesley Falk, Kyle Waltz, Jeff Shiflett, and Greg Edwards all the way back into the 6th position. Mark Wirtz in 7th, Terry Carroll in 8th, and Paul DeBolt 9th already. Chris Hopkins 10th. Jeff Shiflett closing in on the back end of the 1 of Kyle Waltz. And here goes the pass as Jeff gets down on the inside and moves up into the 4th position now. It's about Kyle Waltz. Greg Edwards going to follow him through. Meanwhile, Terry Carroll spins around and hits the wall in turn 3. Another caution flag. Lap 36 comes out as Terry Carroll gets turned around in the 90 car and loops it around. A little bit of damage on the automobile, but he gets it going. 36 laps completed. They'll get back to the last green flag completed lap. Reno Marchetti in the pits also. Problems tonight. The 05 Doug Gotze, Casey Wyatt, the 29, and the 12 of Gene Shiflett. They're all on pit road. Shane Lockhart's going to get back out. A couple of cars choosing to go to the outside and advance their position. Let's see if CE can hold them off up front. The Hampton Roads Toyota number 40 will get them back underway. A lot of damage on the side of that 80 machine of Wesley Falk. He's got sheet metal hanging off the right side quite a bit. So anybody's going to be a little bit afraid to get to the outside of that 80 car. Look at the damage on that machine. They had it taped down, but it has come off, and I would not be surprised if they don't call him back into the pits. Wesley Falk's 80 car. 21 Greg Edwards now gets underneath the 80 car. '21 Greg Edwards now up to 4th position as he gets to the inside of Wesley Falk in the 80 car, and they will black flag the 80. He will have to come into the pits. Wesley Falk will definitely have to get into the pits. All that sheet metal hanging off on the right side. Greg Edwards, he's having a good run tonight, moving his way back up through the field after he and the 34 Paul DeWalt got together. Greg Edwards' fourth position is where he is. And looking to take over the third spot now from Jeff Shiflett. He gets to his inside down the back straightaway for that third spot. Well, every time the 80 car Wesley Falk goes in the turn, that right side flaps up like a chicken wing. But down the front straightaway, it closes back up, but still a little dangerous for the guys on the outside if they ever get to his outside. For now they let it go. 34 Paul DeBolt was in and back out in the pits and back on the racetrack. .43 laps out of 50. We've got a lot of sheet metal damage on a lot of these automobiles, except for the one up front. C.E. Falk, once again, the Hampton Roads Toyota dealers, Avalon Fishing Pier, Von Zipper, and Racing Electronics, number 40. Where he wanted to be, that's out front. 5 laps to go for C.E. Falk. CE leads. Danny Edwards Jr. having a good points run tonight. He is ahead of brother Greg, about the same distance that he is back from the leader, CE Falk, which is about 8 car lengths. Mark Wirtz trying to get by that 0-1 and pick up another position, trying to get the 4th position from Jeff Shiflett. Meanwhile, the caution flag is out. Caution flag is out. One to go, so the green flag will fly again. They're hoping it will be for the final time with 4 laps to go. Greg Edwards came into tonight's event as the leader in the points ahead of C.E. Falk. Danny Edwards, Paul DeBolt, and Matt Waltz. Dean Shiflett 6th in the points, Mark Wirtz 7th, Wesley Falk 8th, Kyle Waltz 9th, and Jeff Shiflett 10th. Those drivers with wins so far this year. Danny Edwards with 1, Greg Edwards with 2, and 2 races tonight for the late model guys. As we get set to get back to the green flag and the green conditions on the racetrack, when that green light lights up, it's the final chance for C.E. Falk to possibly win. Back underway. Good start for Danny Edwards and Greg Edwards right behind C.E. Falk. Danny holding off the brother, Greg, but now catching up to the back end of C.E. Falk for the lead. Closes right underneath the back bumper of CE. 3 laps to go. Now about a half a car length to a car length separate 1 and 2. Danny again trying to do all he can to catch CE Falk for the lead, but he's in a good spot. He's in second ahead of brother Greg. Side by side back here a little bit further as Terry Carroll and the 34 Paul DeBolt go at it. Meanwhile, the 80 of Wesley Falk dives down the inside of the Chris Hopkins 99. White flag in the windshield of C.E. Falk. 1 lap to go. Checkered flag now. C.E. Falk will get his first win of 2011 over Danny Edwards, Greg Edwards, Jeff Shiflett, Mark Wirtz in the top 5, followed by Kyle Waltz, Wesley Falk, Paul DeBolt, and the 99 Chris Hopkins. Terry Carroll, the 90 car, was involved in the spin earlier, but came back for a good finish. K95 car, Shane Lockhart, the 33, had his share of spins tonight. Lee Reinhardt at the rear of the field. But it's going to be C.E. Falk in that victory for the first time this year after winning the championship for the past 2 years at Langley Speedway. Well, it took a little bit longer than we thought to get through the end of that one.
He's been to victory lane many times, but it has been elusive in 2011 until tonight. The 40 car puts it in victory lane. We're going to be throwing beer out over the fence here in a matter of moments.
Chuck, you realize next week we've got those twin 75s for the late model guys.
Twin 75s for the late models and 50 laps for the modifieds as well. So, man, it's going to be one big NASCAR night here. Ladies and gentlemen, C.E. Falk back in victory lane. C, come on out here, man. They'll check it out and be certainly checking those tires to see how heated they got in the first race. CE, certainly no stranger to victory lane, but you haven't been there in 2011. It's got to be a great feeling to be back here as a winner.
God, thank you to all the fans for coming out tonight. Man, it feels so great to be back. That long winter, a lot of changes. New race cars. Thank you, Bobby Creech, Clark's Automotive. New sponsor, Hampton Roads Toyota Dealers, Avalon Fisher Bear, Draco Springs. Turbo Blue, man, she was rolling tonight, man. We been working hard. We tired of getting our butt handed us till the 21, so we went to work, and I think we got a good piece for the rest of the year.
I'll tell you what, Budweiser Night at the Races here tonight, got a winning trophy for you, but let's talk about it. What changes do you make? I mean, this car is pretty awesome on the restarts, especially tonight, and you had a lot of those to be challenged with. Oh, congratulations there for Mom.
I got to thank my mom and my dad. They let me do this, and support me, and man, it's been a long time getting back to Virginia Lane, but thanks to the Bud Light, hopefully we can get some later so we can celebrate right. But we're just gonna make some fine-tune changes and try to win us another one.
Well, Brian's here from Budweiser with a winning trophy and a shirt that says "Grab the Buds," and I'm certainly sure he's going to be doing it later on after he races the second race. But Brian, man, what a great race!
Oh, it was great, man. You led the whole race. You did a heck of a job, man. Great, congratulations.
Yeah, it was plenty of excitement. I mean, they tore up a lot of stuff, but hopefully all those guys can get back and put on another good show for the Langley fans here tonight.
As he alluded to, Mike, we've still got another one to go tonight. Twin 50s here tonight for Budweiser Night at the Races.
One lap to go. Winner of the first race, C.E. Falk, will lead the field down. Budweiser Night at the Races here at Langley Speedway, and C.E. Falk qualified the fastest today for the first race, won that race. And here he is set to go in the Hampton Roads Toyota Dealers number 40. Track champion from 2009 and 2010. Came into tonight's race behind Greg Edwards as the leader in the points, and Greg is right on his back bumper as we get ready to go. Danny Edwards on the outside in 26. And here's the green flag. We're underway at Langley Speedway. The second Twin 50 race. Well, let's see if we can get through this first lap, unlike the first lap of the first 50 race we had. Side-by-side battle for the second spot between Greg Edwards and Danny Edwards. Greg Edwards is going to take that position away in a big crash right here on the front straightaway. Doug Gotze is involved again, the 05 car. The one gets by, Kyle Waltz. 33 spins again. Lee Reinhardt running for the Rookie of the Year, having his problems tonight in car 33. All right, one lap to go until the green comes out again, and we're back under racing conditions with C.E. Falk showing the way over Danny Edwards, Greg Edwards, Mark Wertz, Wesley Falk, then Jeff Shiflett, Chris Hopkins, the 90 of Terry Carroll, the 34, Paul DeBolt, Shane Lockhart, Rena Marchetti, Doug Gotze, Dean Shiflett, Lee Reinhardt, and Kyle Waltz. We've got one lap completed on our second Twin 50 race for the late model stock cars at Langley Speedway. C.E. Falk, and it looks like the 55 Mark Wertz chooses to go to the outside, uses the cone, as does Wesley Falk, Paul DeVault, and Shane Lockhart in the K95 car. Mark Wertz showing the way up there on the outside. Now C.E. Falk takes the lead Greg Edwards trying to follow his brother Danny in the 26 underneath Mark Wirtz. Mark battles with Greg down on the inside. And Mark's on the outside in the 55. He falls back to fourth, now possibly fifth, as Wesley Falk in the 80 car gets underneath Wirtz and takes that position away. He's got fourth. Just behind these guys, Paul DeVolt and Jeff Shiflett going at it. They bump and bang a little bit between turns 1 and 2. And Paul DeVolt up to the 6th position. Here goes the 12. Dean Shiflett slices underneath the 90 of Terry Carroll, pushes him up the racetrack a little bit. He's followed by the 05 of Doug Otzi. Mark Wirtz trying to take that 4th position back from the 80 of Wesley Falk. And just behind these guys, Paul DeVolt, Jeff Shiflett. And here goes the 12. Dean Shiflett trying to get underneath Shane Lockhart, the K95 car, who slips up high a little bit at the exit of turn number 2. Diving down low is the 12 of Dean Shiflett. He's followed by Doug Gosson, who's going to come through with him in 05. Meanwhile, back up front, the Edwards brothers go at it for the 2nd spot. Greg Edwards will take it away from Danny. He's got 2nd. Now Greg Edwards sets his sights on C.E. Falk. One of the only guys who's been able to challenge is Greg Edwards. Doug Gotze gets to the inside of Jeff Shiflett now for positions a little bit further back. Meanwhile, Mark Wirtz trying to take that position away from the 80. He's trying to get 4th away from Wesley Falk. And Shane Lockhart down on the inside of Jeff Shiflett and moves his way back up to the 9th position, it looks like. Jeff Shiflett now on the inside of Shane Lockhart. They continue to battle for the 9th position. And Dean Shiflett, although he has a torn up race car, they were able to get that thing repaired, and he's running pretty good. He's now on the inside and making the pass on the 34, Paul DeVolt. "11 laps completed. We're trying to get to lap 50 as C.E. Falk is showing the way, but Greg Edwards is coming and closing in on C.E. Falk. Meanwhile, a great battle here between Paul DeVolt and the 05 of Doug Gossi. Doug all over the back bumper of the 34 of DeVolt, trying to take away that 7th position. Just ahead in the top 5, C.E. Falk, Greg Edwards, Danny Edwards, Wesley Falk, and Mark Wirtz. Then Dean Shiflett in the 12. And this great battle here between Paul DeVolt and Doug Gotze, the 05. And behind these guys, Shane Lockhart in the 01, Jeff Shiflett going at it. Shane Lockhart tries to get to the inside on the 01 of Jeff Shiflett. He closed the door at the exit of turn number 2. As they scramble back here between the 01 and the K95 car, Greg Edwards is closing in on the leader of this race, C.E. Falk. He's now within 2 car lengths. Shane Lockhart tries to get by the 01 Modoc, North Carolina driver, Jeff Shiflett. And the K95 car makes the pass on Jeff between turns 3 and 4. 17 laps completed out of a 50-lap race. And the 2 guys up there in the points, first and second in this race, C.E. Falk and Greg Edwards. C.E. knows that Greg is coming and has been putting a butt whipping on him this year. Virginia Beach driver C.E. Falk of the Hampton Roads Toyota dealers, Avalon Fishing Pier, Von Zipper, and Racing Electronics, number 40, trying to stay ahead of Greg Edwards in the Browers Mechanical Machine. Greg Edwards of Pocosin, 2 track championships, 2006 and 1998. Sponsorship includes Danny's Glass, RaceWrap.com, Charlie High Racing Engines, and Fair Distributors, Creech Racing Fabrication on his Chevrolet. He's about 12 car lengths ahead of his brother Danny Edwards with Danny's Glass, SunTrust Bank, RaceWrap.com, Tamco, and Keen's on the side of the 26. A 5-time track champion, Danny Edwards in third. Followed by the 80 of Wesley Falk, usually drives the 41. He is from Virginia Beach with Avalon Fishing Pier, Acredale Vending, Tom Snackfood, and Clark's Automotive. Good race between Mark Wirtz and the 12 machine. Dean Shiflett moving his way up through the field. Mark Wirtz back to 6th position. And the Dunkin' Donuts Planet Fitness, number 55. The Rogers Electrical, number 12, Dean Shiflett, caught up in that big wreck we had on the first lap of the first Twin 50. And now he's got a fast race car. He is in 5th and not slowing down. Greg Edwards has still about 4 to 5 car lengths to catch up to the back bumper, the 40 of C.E. Falk. Halfway sign has gone up as 25 laps are completed for the Crossroads Fuel late model stock cars. Budweiser united the races tonight. And once again, we'd like to thank all the sponsors who've helped us this year so far, including Budweiser, a huge sponsor of Langley Speedway. Budweiser, Bud Light, and Mick Ultra products available here at the souvenir stand, concession stands. Paul DeVolt trying to get past Mark Wirtz in the 55. Paul DeVolt in 7th, trying to get past Mark Wirtz, who is in 6th in the 55 car. And Mark a little bit earlier tried to go to the outside on the cone rule and make a move on the leaders, but fell back a little bit. But still, he's had a good night tonight in both races in the 55 car. DeVolt gets to his inside now, races side by side with Wirtz on the back straightaway, takes that position away. Now here goes C.E. Falk working the lap traffic. 33, Lee Reinhardt, Racing Dynamics machine, stays on the inside as C.E. Falk tries to get by on the outside and does at the exit of turn 2. Meanwhile, a great battle continues as Dean Shiflett tries to move up and pass Wesley Falk now for the 4th position. Caution flag is out. Caution flag out here on lap number 30. We've got 20 laps to go. Got a spin down here with Lee Reinhardt, number 33. He's had about 5 or 6 spins. He's down in the ditch between turns 3 and 4. They'll have to get a record to pull him out. Getting back to the action at Langley Speedway, our second Twin 50, and we have C.E. Falk in the lead. Wesley Falk uses the cone, goes to the outside, and he will try and advance in the 80 car. He's ahead of Greg Edwards. Greg will dive back underneath him if he gets a chance and take away that second spot. He gets into him a little bit. Wesley slides up into the wall and also collected K95 car of Shane Lockhart. Wesley got loose at the exit of turn number 4. Greg was underneath him, made the pass. And we got a busted radiator, looks like. We got a lot of liquid on the racetrack that they'll have to clean up over here on the front straightaway, so they will come to a stop. And busted radiator on the 80 of Wesley Falk after he was down on the inside trying to block the number 21 and got a little loose at the exit of turn number 4. Greg slid underneath him. He spun out and hit the wall, and a lot of liquid on the racetrack. 20 laps to go in this 50-lap race. The K95 car got collected in that too. Shane Lockhart, he pulls his car behind the wall and into the pits, and he's got definitely a flat rear tire on the right side, and they'll see if he can get him back out. If not, they'll save the car for the next race we have, which is next weekend at Langley Speedway. Twin 75-lap races for the late model stock car drivers. There's a torn up number 80, Wesley Falk. Mark Wirtz still with repairs being made to the engine on the 55 Planet Fitness Dunkin' Donuts ride. We'll see if he can get back out. And one lap, they'll get the green. Danny Edwards is going to give it a shot on the outside. What the heck? It's his birthday tomorrow. C.E. Falk, Danny Edwards will be side by side up there in the front. Then the one of Kyle Waltz chooses to go to the outside and use the cone. He's on the outside of Paul DeBolt in the 34. And then the 12, Dean Shiflett down on the inside with the 14 of Reno Marchetti to the outside. And here goes the green flag with 20 laps to go. Danny Edwards trying to hang tough with C.E. Falk. Meanwhile, right behind him, we've got a big skirmish as the 34 Paul DeBolt battles with Dean Shiflett. Dean takes away the third spot. Now he's going to try and take away second from Danny Edwards. Dean Shiflett all the way to the second spot after that big crash in the first 50-lap race on lap 1. He's still got a fast car, but sheet metal flies off the 12 car and lands up in the turn 3 area. And the whole side of the 12 is coming off. What a shame. He's up there in second, running very fast. Got some sheet metal up there in turn 3. Caution flag is out. A bunch of debris fell off the 12 car, and he has a lot of damage on the side from that earlier wreck. Everything's hanging off the side on the right of the 12 of Dean Shiflett, and it's a shame because he has a fast race car. It's a shame because Dean Shiflett has really worked to get all the way up there in that second spot, and now the side of the car comes apart from that earlier wreck he had. Want to win bad. Danny Edwards, Paul DeBolt, and Doug Gossick shown up there in 4th ahead of the 1 of Kyle Waltz. And they get the side ripped off the 12 car. They're going to try and get him back out. 1 lap to go, so they got to hustle to get Dean Shiflett back out in the 12. And they stall the 12. They give him a push. He gets it refired, and we can see all the way in that race car. See the roll cage and everything on the right side of Dean Shiflett. He'll get back in line, and let's see how far he can get back up through the field with 18 laps. So 18 laps to go for our second Twin 50 at Langley Speedway. It's been kind of crazy tonight for these late model guys, and they show no signs of letting it up. Here we go again. Paul DeBolt goes to the outside to see if he can advance. He's on the outside of C.E. Falk as we're back underway. Greg Edwards also uses the cone to his advantage and chose to go to the outside. Now he races side by side with Danny, and Paul DeBolt is going to challenge the lead on C.E. Falk. And oh no, hard impact with the wall with the 0-1 of Jeff Shiflett. as he and the 05 Doug Gotze involved in another wreck tonight, but hard impact with Jeff Shiflett. He is moving around in the race car. Looks like he is okay, but man, what a big wreck we had in turn 3 as Jeff Shiflett and the 05 got together and head on into the wall. Went the 01, the Moyock, North Carolina driver of Jeff Shiflett. Doug Gotze also, he comes into the pits with a lot of damage on the right front of his car. And liquid leaks out of the bottom of the race car, the 01. And Jeff Shiflett is okay, thank the good Lord. He's climbed from his automobile, a little shaken up. All right, let's see. Here we go. Cone is out. And the Bolt's going to stay behind the 40. Danny Edwards is going to challenge C.E. Falk and the 1 of Kyle Waltz. He's right behind Danny Edwards, and he will be to the outside of Paul DeBolt. Then Greg Edwards has worked his way back up through the field. And Mark Wirtz chooses to go to the outside too in the 55. Then down on the inside, Terry Carroll. 14, Reno Marchetti. 33, Lee Reinhardt. 12 of Dean Shiflett will be working his way back up through the field. And Doug Gotze at the rear end. Line up side by side. Green flag is back out. We're underway. Green flag conditions. And now Danny Edwards will challenge the 40 of C.E. Falk for the lead. Falls back into second just ahead of the 34 of Paul DeBolt. Then it's Greg Edwards in a side-by-side battle as Mark Wirtz is to the inside of the one machine of Kyle Waltz. Here goes Greg to the inside of DeBolt. Takes away the third spot. We've got debris on the racetrack in between turns 1 and 2. Caution flag is out for debris between turns 1 and 2. Couldn't see which car it came off of, but one of those cars up there near the front, and they'll get that picked up. Looks like it was the 34, Paul DeBolt. Back here at Langley, 1 lap to go. Paul DeBolt's going to give it another shot on the outside, see what he can do with C.E. Falk. Also, Mark Wirtz, the 55 car, will be to the outside of Danny Edwards. Greg Edwards right there on the back bumper of Danny for the third spot on the inside. And 1 of Kyle Waltz, followed by Terry Carroll in the 90. Reno Marchetti, Dean Shiflett, and Lee Reinhardt in the 33. So the kind of start that C.E. Falk can get. Paul DeBolt's going to be right there with him, you know it. Green flag is out. We're underway again. Paul DeBolt gets a good start. Not a good start for C.E. Falk, though, as DeBolt's going to challenge him at the exit of turn 2. Stays right with him, up halfway next to him. Danny Edwards moves up to the third spot. Thought about challenging DeBolt for the second spot. And Mark Wirtz slips a little bit. Here goes to his inside, Kyle Waltz in the 1 car. Handling starting to go away a little bit on DeBolt's machine, it looks like. Paul DeBolt in the 34 car in second, just ahead of Danny Edwards and Greg Edwards, 21. Side-by-side racing continues between the 55 of Mark Wirtz on the outside of the 1 of Kyle Waltz. Kyle Waltz slips sideways. The 12 of Dean Shiflett tries to avoid him and does. And Greg Edwards all over the back end of the 26 of Danny Edwards for that third spot. Here goes Dean Shiflett to the inside of Kyle Waltz and moves him back. Greg Edwards again trying to get past his brother Danny Edwards as the laps get down to the end. We've got 13 laps to go, and here goes Greg. Greg Edwards up to third spot now, 12 laps to go. Fought his way all the way from the rear of the field. Mark Wirtz now battles with the 26 of Danny Edwards for that fourth position. The Planet Fitness and Dunkin' Donuts 55 coming to life here as he works on the back end of the Danny's Glass 26 of Danny Edwards Jr. Battle for that fourth position. Dean Shiflett, he is still coming, not that far back behind the 55 of Mark Wirtz. Closes up on that Crossroads Fuel logo on the back bumper of Wirtz. Meanwhile, Mark Wirtz battles with Danny Edwards for that fourth position. Side-by-side battle continues between these two. Good to see Mark Wirtz back up where he needs to be, up there in the top 5. Here goes 3 wide just about. Dean Shiflett thought about it, backed out of it though, to let these two go at it for that fourth position. And Mark Wirtz is working his tail off to get by that 26 of Danny Edwards and finally makes the pass. Mark Wirtz up to 4th. It's Wirtz and Danny Edwards Jr. Now Dean Shiflett and Danny go at it for that 5th position. It's some hard luck for Dean Shiflett. He's had a little bit of everything happen to him tonight. You see that torn up race car, but it's still very fast as he fights to get a top 5 finish. Meanwhile, Greg Edwards reels in the 34 of Paul DeVolt for that 2nd spot. Dean Shiflett trying to get past Danny Edwards once again for 5th. And I can't believe that car is that fast after all he's been through tonight. And look at these battling back here near the rear of the field. Rena Marchetti, Terry Carroll, they bump a little bit and bang off each other. 33 Lee Reinhardt is there too. He's had a tough night tonight with about 5 or 6 spins. Running for the Rookie of the Year. He and the 14 of Rena Marchetti. C.E. Falk with about an 8 car length advantage. The white flag is out. He's got 1 lap to go. Paul DeVolt with a good run tonight. Looks like he's going to finish 2nd ahead of Greg Edwards in the 21. And Mark Wirtz with a great run tonight, the 55 car. Here goes Dean Shiflett. He will get himself a top 5 finish. Checkered flag is out. It's C.E. Falk over Paul DeVolt, Greg Edwards, Mark Wirtz, and Dean Shiflett 5th over Danny Edwards Jr. And it's Kyle Waltz, Rena Marchetti, Lee Reinhardt, and Terry Carroll. But what a great accomplishment for Dean Shiflett with that torn-up race car to come back all the way to 5th. And the winner of this race for the 2nd time tonight, C.E. Falk. Paul DeVolt finishes in the 2nd spot ahead of Greg Edwards, Mark Wirtz with a good run tonight, and Dean Shiflett. So it's the 2nd win for tonight and the 2nd of the year.
Well, a new winner in Victory Lane twice in one night. There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, he does it again. 2 in one night. C.E. Falk right there in car number 40. And a cool, refreshing water there. Man, let's go back an hour and a half ago and tell us what transpired.
Oh, man, I tell you, that was, are you sure we were running 300 laps? We started conserving fuel there at the end, man. It felt like this Coke 600 or something, but great night for our team, man. We were tired of getting kicked in the mouth, and we went to work and had a great test Friday, and, man, what an awesome race car. It was the best car I've had here in 2 years, and that's saying a lot. I've had a lot of good cars here, and man, just got to thank Avalon Fishing Pier, AR Bodies, Vaughn Zipper Sunglasses, West Page, Henry Sawyer Dealers, Bobby Creech, Rayvon Clark, my mom and dad, Dwayne, George, Mitzi, all the guys, Jeremy, Anthony who's in here, Albert, my brother. Man, I can't wait for the rest of this year.
I tell you what, well, next year we'll do it, next week rather, we'll do it again with twin 75s here at Langley Speedway.
Hopefully they go a little smoother than tonight. It was action-packed for sure.
Look, we've got James and Jamie. You can, James, come on up here. Man, what a night for racing here at Langley Speedway. Budweiser night at the race.
Oh, yeah, incredible race, man. I think, after the first race, maybe they didn't drink responsibly, man. A lot of crashes on that race. But it was good fun, good fun.
There you go. We got a winning trophy right there. Ladies and gentlemen, your most recent winner. He does it twice in one night for the twins here at Langley Speedway. Budweiser night at the races. C.E. Falk the third right there.